Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, thank you for clicking on this video. Hope you're having a wonderful day. I'm going to talk about a subject that has been riddling the football world for the past, 3 months and stuff like that, and giving my honest opinion on it, because at this point now, I'm kind of tired of it. So, as of recording, it's the 18th of August. We're 13 days away from the end of the transfer window, and honest to God, it cannot come quick enough, because I'm going to be talking about this whole Harry Kane situation. Now, coming as a Tottenham fan, this is going to be, if I'm no bias, I'm no bullshit, I'll tell you exactly how it is with my club and stuff like that, alright? And the way I see it is this. From the moment the season ended, I had no doubt he would still be a Tottenham player at the end of this transfer window, right? I said it from the start, I've said it in the middle, and I'll say it again now and everything. Kane is not going anywhere. Now, what has happened obviously since then, obviously we've had the Euros where, England came runners-up and stuff like that. It took him a few games and everything to get up to speed and stuff like that. And then it was all about where was he going to be, where's he going to play, where's he going to go and stuff like that. And, I understand now how other teams feel when it comes to this, because don't get me wrong, as Tottenham fans, we've been through this with Berbatov, with Keane, with Modric, with Bale more recently and stuff like that. So we know what it's like when people just want to bid for your best players and stuff like that, right? And, I look at the likes of Arsenal, who have lost the likes of Nasri and Fabregas and Van Persie in the past. It's annoying, like looking at Southampton, for example, and everything, when Liverpool were just buying all their best players and stuff like that. It really hits home now just how frustrating this is as a fan of your club and everything, because at the end of the day, you don't follow a player, you follow a club. Simple as that. And the way I see it is ever since the Euros ended and we had, the English lads were always going to have a break, let's be honest, they were going to have a longer break than most and stuff like that. When he was due to come back, and the whole, he's still abroad, he was upset that nothing's been accepted and stuff like that. Then it turned out he just needs a negative COVID test, and he only resumed training last Friday. Now, the players have come out and said this and stuff like that. They said he's only had one training session, why would he be included against Man City? And I said the same thing. You cannot no matter who you are as a player and stuff like that, if you've had one training session in like a month, you cannot then go ahead and play 10, 20, 30, 40, a whole game of a Premier League quality game. All right? There was no way he was ever going to be included. He then trains on Monday, and he trained early Sunday morning as well on his own. He trained Monday and he trained yesterday. And then the whole thing was, he's been included in the squad to go face Pacos de Ferreira in the Europa Conference qualifier. And as of today, as some people may have heard and stuff like that, he has not been included. He's not travelled. Now, I don't see this as a case of, he's definitely leaving. Now, I'm going to apologise right now to any fans if you somehow come across this video of Pacos de Ferreira. They are a Portuguese minnow club, right? We don't need Kane to play in this game. Simple as that. If we somehow fuck it up and it's 1-1 at the end of the first leg, then he can play in the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium next week. He doesn't need to travel when he can just easily be included on Sunday against Wolves, which is the more appropriate game to be included in the matchday squad, right? We shouldn't even be taking Son. I don't even know if Son's travel and everything. I haven't seen the videos and everything of Tottenham with the players going onto the plane and stuff like that. But the players like Son and Kane and Lloris, they don't have to travel, because this should literally just be a one-and-done game. We win, we move on and stuff like that. But then again, we're the team that also got thumped 3-0 by Dynamo Zagreb after having a 2-0 first-leg lead, so I will just digress on that. But the fact that this is breaking news, that he didn't travel and stuff like that, maybe he's not travelling because he's still not up to match fitness, It's Sky and BT and BBC that just sprout absolute bullshit on this, because they're trying to drum up controversy and everything. They want to they want people to look at this and go like, it's going to really unnerve the club and everything. The players have already come out and said, we really don't care. Look at how well Son handled the interview at the end of the Man City game from Jeff Shreves. I in no way blame Jeff Shreves for the questions he asked Son, for the questions he asked Espirito Santo, and the questions he had to ask Pep Guardiola. It is not his doing to say those things. He has been told by someone at Sky to ask these questions, to press it home and stuff like that, to get someone to trip up. The way Son said in his interview and everything was flawless. The way Nuno said it in his conference was flawless. I can give a fuck about Pep. He's not my club. I don't give a fuck about them. The way they handled it is fantastic. The way Hugo has come out since was fantastic. And the way that Eric Dyer, as of today and everything, again, it's handled brilliantly. They're not worried about it. They don't care. He is their player and stuff like that. He is their teammate, but they don't care whether he's included in the club or not. They don't care about the transfer rumours that are flying around and stuff like that. It doesn't bother them. So no matter how much you try and press an issue and stuff like that, these are professional footballers. They really don't care about you sprouting bullshit and stuff like that. Now, the fact that Kane took so long after the whole negative COVID test situation and stuff like that to put something out on Twitter and stuff like that was pretty poor. The fact that his brother is like his agent and stuff like that, and he sprouts the bollocks to the press and stuff like that, it's pathetic, you know. The end of this, it's just such a simple equation to follow and stuff like that. We have said multiple times he's not for sale, right? If people want to consistently, if Man City want to say, yeah, no, we want him as our player, then you follow the simple steps. One, if we put up a clause and say, this is how much money we want for him, you cannot haggle that price, right? If we say 160 million, you can have him, we're not going to accept 100, 105, 110. This is not fucking deal or no deal or some bullshit like that. It's not flog it. It's not a case of trying to up it while constantly be getting rejected. We have set you a price. If you don't pay it, you can fuck off, right? Simple as that. And I'm going to start swearing because it does generally piss me off, this whole thing. You don't get anywhere by lowballing it. Look at what happened to Man United last season with Sancho. They were only within £10 million, I believe it was, of getting Dortmund's request for how much they wanted for Sancho, and they kept lowballing it. Yes, a year later they've ended up getting their man, fair enough, but it took a whole transfer window for them to not get their player. This is exactly what's happening with City. They have just spent £100 million on Jack Grealish. We'll have to see if it's a good deal or not and stuff like that, but after the showing, you know, he came on against Leicester and stuff like that, you know, won a few fouls and stuff like that. Against Tottenham, he was poor, throwing himself all over the pitch and stuff like that, moaning to Lucas Moura about diving when he is the personification of it. It's poor. And on a side rant of that, the people, if someone comments and stuff like saying, oh, I bet you were wanting that for Grealish in the England team. Yeah, I was, because I was supporting the England team. As soon as he puts on a Man City shirt, I can give a fuck about him. Same with Sterling. Sterling throwing himself to the floor to try and get Tanganga sent off and stuff like that. It's pathetic. You can do that in the Euros when I'm cheering for you, yeah, but when you come back to club football, it's a completely different thing. If you're diving in club football, then, you know, I'm going to hate on you for it. If you do it in the Euros, yeah, fuck it, I want to win something, but I couldn't care less when you go back to your club. Side rant over. With in regards to financial fair play and stuff like that, we know for a fact that it genuinely means the square root of nothing when it comes to transfers and stuff like that. You look at PSG, for example. Now, people will say they haven't spent any money. They've only spent the 60 million euros on Hakimi, and that's it. They've got everyone else on a free transfer. But that doesn't mean you're not paying those players. You're not paying Donnarumma, Wijnaldum, Messi and Ramos. You are paying them a fee. The fee for Messi supposedly is £36 million a year. Ramos is probably around about the £25 million mark. Wijnaldum's probably around about 20, and Donnarumma's probably about 30 million as well. So technically, they've actually spent a close to about £220 million and stuff like that on these players. But they get around it because they've got oligarch billionaires and stuff like that who can just throw money at UEFA and FIFA and say, just let this one slide. It's the same with Man City as well. Every time they get lodged with a transfer ban or something like that, they fight it, they pay out the money and stuff like that, and they get away with it and stuff like that. So the problem with modern football is when this financial fair play was brought in to help teams and stuff like that, to create a balance. When a team in League One or the Championship, i.e. likes of Sheffield Wednesday and Derby, say they can't adhere to it, they get docked points. When Man City or PSG do it, they pay out and stuff like that because they can afford it. They leech off the poor and they give to the rich. It's as simple as that. But that's where football is wrong and stuff like that. Now look, in regards to Kane, if he wants to move on, he can move on, right? He will go down as a Tottenham legend. It's as simple as that, right? The way he's gone about it is wrong, you know. He has come out and said he hasn't refused to train or refused to play and stuff like that. Now, I believe that as much as I believe that my next door neighbour and stuff like that is actually Madonna, right? He has to come out and physically show for it and stuff like that. If he turns up against Wolves, scores 4 goals in 25 minutes and stuff like that, then fine, you get a little bit more credibility in the books of Tottenham fans and stuff like that. If you come out in an interview and then just turn around and say, do you know what, I'm not interested in all this BS and everything, I want to play the season at Tottenham, you play the season at Tottenham and stuff like that. You have to win back the fans, because unfortunately your credibility in the terms of the fans right now has plummeted to depths I have not seen since Sol Campbell, right? And that's saying something, considering he's still a Judas all these years later. It's poor from him, it's poor from the club in some sense, because, you know, they've not come out and said anything regards to this. They've left it up to, you know, Santo has just had to say, like, yeah, no, he's our player, my player, couldn't give a fuck, like, I'm ending the conversation there and then and stuff like that. And I feel bad for that and stuff like that. The social media guy and everything for Twitter, the admin, is absolutely amazing. He's a brilliant bloke. The amount of work that he puts in for Twitter and stuff like that is amazing. You read the comments though, they're saying like, oh, do this and everything, talk to him. It's like, what can he do? He just sits behind a laptop all day and stuff like that. Like, he's nothing, he doesn't speak to the players directly. It's bollocks. This whole situation can literally be cleared up as a case of, if City want to spend the money to have Harry Kane, you spend the money that Tottenham are saying to you to pay for and everything. Now, people will say that's unreasonable. That's what the whole point of a transfer like blockage is and stuff like that. The 160 million isn't what Kane's worth as a player, it's what he's worth to Tottenham. You look at Ben White, for example. Ben White is not worth 50 million. After that showing against Brentford, he's not worth 2 pints of lager and a packet of crisps. He's not worth that, but to Brighton he was, so they could ask for a lot more money because they knew they could keep a hold of him. Some club like Arsenal was stupid enough to spend that money on him, you know. Now, don't get me wrong, I like Ben White as a player. Is this the right move for him? We'll never know. We'll have to wait until the end of the season. But it's how much of an importance that person is to the club, not the actual worth. Kane's probably only worth about 100 million and stuff like that. His resale value is, you know, through the floor and stuff like that, because he hasn't got a resale value from a club that he then joins. He's 27 years old. He's got a history of ankle injuries that keep him out for 3, 4, 5 months and stuff like that. You know, if City were ever to, you know, he might go and win 3 Premier League titles, a Champions League and all this sort of, oh, no, not Champions League, it's Man City. Man City don't win the Champions League, but he can win 6 League Cups, 2 FA Cups, 4 Community Shields and a bunch of Premier League titles and stuff like that. Fine, but they then can't shift him on, you know. If he gets to 33 years old and stuff like that, he's nowhere near worth that 160 million. He's worth 1.6 million. And that's the problem you've got with a player like Kane and stuff like that. You look at players like, look at Ousmane Dembele and stuff like that. He was bought from Barca to Barca for 120 million and stuff like that. They knew they had a big resale value on him if he kicked on and stuff like that. Unfortunately, that hasn't happened, and now they're in the mud, but with trying to sell him and stuff like that. You have to look, as a club, as the owners and everything, you have to look at the potential resale value of a player. And unfortunately, Kane doesn't have that. So City are gambling on 160 million to pay for like a foreseeable future for like 3 or 4 years and stuff like that, how much they'll get out of him and stuff like that. With Grealish, it's a bit more, you know, they've got a couple of years off of Kane and stuff like that, so they can warrant the 100 million and stuff like that. But does that mean it's right? Absolutely not. You know, the analogy that I saw of it was someone saying, my car is not for sale. Someone saying, I want to buy your car. No. But I really want that car. No. It's not for sale and stuff. What if I give you this? No. We have maintained our stance that we are not selling him and stuff like that. But people say, because it's Man City, oh, you have to accept. No, you don't. You don't have to accept because Man City come to the front door and everything and throw a bunch of cash in your face and stuff like that. Tottenham have been criticised for that for so many years of being a selling club. We sold Bale, we sold Modric, we sold Berbatov, we sold Robbie Keane, we sold Jermaine Defoe. We sold all these players and stuff like that, and we were always told you'll never be a big club if you sell your best players. The moment that we say we are not selling our best player, suddenly we are harassed and everything because we should let the player do what he wants. We should let the player go and stuff like that. The moment that he then goes, what happens again? Oh, you know, you're just a selling club and stuff like that. You literally cannot win in this instance. And I don't like Daniel Levy. I think he's a twat, right? I cannot comprehend just like we have neither gone forwards nor backwards since he has been the chairman of the club and stuff like that. What he has to go through on a physical daily basis in regards to dealing with like transfers and stuff like that has got to take a toll on it. I mean, literally, he has no hair anyway. If he did have hair, it would have fallen out years ago and stuff like that. So luckily for me, we now have obviously Fabio Paratici, and you can tell this is a man who's constantly on it and stuff. Even in the Man City game, he had an earphone in. He's talking to potential agents and stuff. This man lives and breathes football. He can take some of that pressure off of Levy and stuff like that. But Levy is a hard bargainer because he wants what's best for Tottenham. As much as we as fans don't like it, and stuff, he does have the best interest of the club at heart. He will drum up the money and say no, we're not going to accept 70 million for Bale, 75 million, no, 80, 85, 90, no, we want close to 100 million and stuff like that. Fine, we got 100 million of it, we invest in 7 players and all but 2 of them were flops. I'll still consider Lamela a bit of a iffy statement there and everything, but that's how it is in football. It's the fact that it's taken this long and stuff. I generally cannot wait until the 31st of August at 11 p.m. when the transfer window ends and stuff like that, because it's exciting to watch when you're buying players. It's frustrating when you've got the same news headlines day in and day out from the same sources and stuff like that. Fabrizio Romano, for people that don't know, is literally the most well-respected in the know and transfer agent of all time and stuff like that. When he says, here we go with a transfer, you know it's going to happen. He did it with Sancho, he did it with Bale last year, with all the Tottenham ones this year, with Galini, with Romero, with Kiel. It's been spot on. Whenever he says that, it will happen. It might take a week, it might take 2 weeks, it might take a month, like Sancho did, but it's going to happen. At every point, he'll always say, they're going to do another deal, that's it. They're going to do another offer, but that's it. It's not going to get accepted. Levy will not accept the deal, and Man City cannot accept that because they feel they cannot buy a player in this instance. And because of that, will City struggle with that? Maybe, maybe not. They've still got Foden to come back. De Bruyne is not 100% full fitness yet. They can win a season without a striker, right? But whenever City cannot spend the money and stuff like that, they get pissy. They think of all the things in the book and everything. If we can't buy them, what are we going to do and all that sort of stuff. They'll throw money at someone else. There's other strikers out there that you can have better money value with than Harry Kane. Go out and buy Dominic Calvert-Lewin from Everton. Everton fans will hate me for saying this. Go buy Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Why didn't they go for Danny Ings and stuff like that? Danny Ings is only 29. He's not 34 or 35 years old, washed up and everything. He's just had 2 banging seasons at Southampton. Why didn't they go for him? They could have got him for a lot fucking cheaper, Dip around the other Premier League clubs and stuff like that. You'll find a striker you like somewhere, but no, they have their hearts set on a player that the club have said he's not going to be sold. As simple as that. And City cannot accept that. City have one transfer target, and that is it. They wanted Grealish, they ended up getting Grealish and stuff like that. Was there an alternative to Grealish? Fuck no. With Tottenham at the moment, if we sell Kane and stuff like that, there's still a chance, Vlahovic will come in and stuff like that, and there's still talk of Lautaro Martinez turning up at Tottenham as well. Whether the Kane deal goes through or not, it's insane and stuff like that. The fact that we could have potential incomings by the end of this week is just ridiculous and stuff. But I will always maintain my stance on this. We are not going to sell Kane. He's not going to go. If he does go, fine. Fair play to the guy and everything. He's given us a number of great years and stuff like that. But, if he wants to move on, he can move on and stuff like that. We'll buy someone in and stuff like that. We've got the kids from the academy and stuff like that. We can make another Harry Kane. We've got a young lad called Scarlett and stuff like that. And if you look at what Mourinho said last season, said he's going to be a baller. When Mourinho says that about a player, he means it. And we know this kid has got something special and stuff like that. He might only be 17, 18 years of age, but we know he's got something. So we sell Kane, we make a new Kane and stuff like that. Do you know what? I don't even want to say that we won't make a new Kane. We'll make a new Scarlett and stuff like that. We'll take Scarlett and we'll turn him into the best striker in England and stuff like that, regardless of what happens. Rant over. I think I'm done with that at the moment, stuff like that. If you like the video and you got to the end of this and you've actually listened to me ramble on and stuff like that, hit the like button below, subscribe as well, leave a comment. What do you think is going to happen with Kane? Is he going to go? Is he going to stay? I want to know your opinions. Social media links, as always, are in the description. As always, I will speak to you in the next video. Peace.